Morning students, Sairam, this is Megha Miss here, and today we are going to start with our new lesson, that is acids, bases and salts. So we have completed our last chapter, that is laws of motion. I hope you have studied that chapter properly again. Okay, so we'll continue with a new lesson today. This is our session 1. Now starting with, I am just showing you some pictures. You know there are different types of acids which are present, students. You know what are acids, you have studied before also. Yes, acids and bases we can differentiate using, if you remember, litmus paper. Yes, what happens, how you can determine whether it is an acid or base? We use the litmus paper, you remember. Litmus paper, if you put it in the base, what will happen? For example, I have taken a red litmus paper and if I put it in the base, what will happen? Yes, students, it will turn blue. Yes, because whatever substances are there which are bases, the red will turn to blue. While acids, how you will determine, students? In the acids, the litmus paper, blue litmus, will turn red. Yes, students, I hope you remember this. You have studied in 8th standard. Okay, like that here you can see different example which I have given of acid. Acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, while lemon, you know, in lemon you have the citric acids. So these are some of the acids, they are present naturally. Some of them are prepared in the laboratory. Okay, then next you can see different types of bases are there. Okay, different colors of bases can be there. Different salts are also there. Okay, not compulsory salt will be only white in color. Salt can be of different colors also. Okay, then these are all the bases which you use at your home. Yes, students, whatever the detergents, whatever the soaps, whatever you use, they are all the bases. Yes, now the 3 mineral acids, if you remember, I told you to remember last year also, HCl, H2SO4 and HNO3. Yes, while I told you bases also, NaOH, if you remember, KOH, okay, these are all our bases, right? And I have told you how we use a litmus paper to differentiate this acids and bases. Okay, students, now these are the salts which we use at home. Yes, so the main salt what every day you use, that is your NaCl. Yes, you use it every day. Yes, in our food to give the taste. Yes, so now this NaCl, we are going to see how this NaCl is formed. Yes, students, you have already studied this, how this NaCl is also formed. Okay, we'll just see the ionic compounds. A recapitulation. Why it is a recapitulation? Because you have already studied how the NaCl is formed. Okay, so we'll just see it again. The molecule of an ionic compound has two constituents. Okay, namely a cation and anion. Yes, students, before also you studied what is a cation and what is an anion. Cation will be the positive ion and it is a basic radical. Anion is a negative ion and will be a acidic radical. Okay, students, there is a force of attraction between these ions as they are oppositely charged. Yes, how are they? One is a cation and one is an anion. Means one is a positive charge, one is a negative charge. Will the positive and negative will attract? Yes, it will attract. Okay. So, and this whatever the force of attraction is there, students, what you will call it as? You will call it as the ionic bond. Okay, student, what important word here? The force of attraction. This force of attraction between the cation, your cation and an anion, we called it as the ionic bond. Okay, and the force of attraction between one positive charge on a cation and one negative charge on an anion makes one ionic bond. Okay, so the force of attraction between one positive charge and one negative charge will make one ionic bond. Okay, and the compounds which are formed because of these ionic bonds, we call them as ionic compounds. Okay, students, remember the compounds which are formed because of the ionic bond, we call them as ionic compounds. Okay, students, did you understand this? Okay, we'll continue. Yes. So now, while studying static electricity, we have learned that there is a natural tendency of any body to change from an electrically charged state into an electrically neutral state. Yes, you have studied static electricity. Did you remember static electricity? Bits of paper, scale, rubbing it on your hairs. Then you are trying to pull out the bits of that paper and it gets attached for some time to the scale. That is your static electricity. Yes. So it is a natural tendency. We have seen that there is a natural tendency of any body to change from an electrically charged state. So it was charged state and then it came back to the neutral state. How it is? It is only just for an instance of time. Yes. Why? Then is an electrically charged ion transformed from an electrically balanced, that is a neutral atom. Yes. The explanation lies in the electronic configuration of the atom. So we will see why this happened. Okay, why it is happening? Because of the electronic configuration of the atoms. Figure 1.5, we are going to see that, shows you how sodium and chlorine atoms form the Na plus and Cl minus, and as a result how the NaCl salt is formed. That we will see, students. Okay, now see here. The outermost shell of the sodium and chlorine atoms is not a complete octet. Yes, students, you know in sodium Na, right? How is the electronic configuration, you remember? Yes, for the sodium it is 2, 8, 1. Okay, this is my 2. Okay, so is this last shell octet is complete? No, 1 electron is remaining, right? Same way, if you see for the chlorine, what is that? Cl, we write it as 2, 8, 7. Yes, can I say last shell octet is complete? No. Yes, so it is said that the outermost shell of sodium and chlorine atoms is not a complete octet. However, outermost shells in both the Na plus and Cl minus ions are complete octet. Yes, you know, Na, as I told you, Na was having 1 electron. That 1 electron will be added up with this 7. Yes, it will become 8. Yes, so chlorine will become Cl minus and sodium will become Na plus. Okay, students, so what you are going to get? Na plus and Cl minus. So Na plus will become Na plus will be having complete octet. Cl minus will also have a complete octet. Okay. An electronic configuration with a complete octet indicates a stable state. Yes, they both will become stable. Further, an ionic bond is formed between the oppositely charged Na plus and Cl minus ions. Which bond will be formed between these two? Ionic bond. Okay, and therefore an ionic compound NaCl having very high stability is formed. Okay, so very high stable NaCl will be formed. Okay, we'll just see it in this figure. If you can see, first it will be 281, as I told you. You can see the structure also. Yes, now 1 electron outgoing, 1 electron which is there, you can see this one. Yes, it will be going out. Yes, can you see this arrowhead is shown? So what it will become? Na plus 28. Okay, chlorine you can see 287. Yes, see 1 electron is coming inside. Can you see this electron which is coming inside? Yes. So now last shell it will become Cl minus and it will be having 288. Okay. So you can see Na and Cl, this 1 electron is getting shifted here. Can you see in that circle? Yes. So what it is forming, students? You can see the formation of NaCl with an ionic bond is formed. Yes, you can see this positive Na plus and this negative Cl minus is joining together and it will form, can you see here it is written NaCl, and ionic bond is formed between the Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, so this is the figure 5.1 which is given in your text also. Okay, students, did you understand the formation of NaCl? Yes, and this NaCl have a very high stability. Okay, so we'll continue. Dissociation of ionic compounds. Now we saw what are ionic compounds. Yes, they are formed because of the ionic bonds. Okay. Now we will see the dissociation of these ionic compounds. An ionic compound forms an aqueous solution on dissolving in water. Okay. As it is dissolved in water, we will call it as aqueous. Okay. In the solid state, the oppositely charged ions in the ionic compound are sitting side by side. How they are sitting? Oppositely charged ions means Na plus and Cl minus, they will be sitting side by side. Okay. When an ionic compound begins to dissolve in water, now if NaCl, you know it is completely dissolving in water, yes. The water molecules penetrate in between the ions of the compound and separate them from each other. What water will do? It will separate out Na plus and Cl minus again. Okay. First they were joined and forming NaCl, but when I put water in that, Na plus again will form and Cl minus ions will form. Okay. So that is to say an ionic compound dissociates, means the ions separate during formation of an aqueous solution. Each of the dissociated ions in the aqueous solution is surrounded by water molecules. Okay, each of the ions means the chlorine ion will be surrounded by water molecules and the sodium ions. Okay, this state is indicated by writing, how you will write, students? AQ. Okay, not aqueous, whole spelling, you will write it in short as AQ. Okay, meaning aqueous. On the right hand side of the symbol of the ion, on the right hand side you will write it. Okay, so we will see now in the next. Can you see here? You can see I am taking, this is my water. In that you can see up salt in solid state before dissolving. Okay, that is NaCl. It will be NaCl which I am putting inside. Yes, and slowly can you see NaCl first, how the molecules are there? This part, how they are touched to each other. Yes, they are completely touched with each other, bonding is there. But as water, can you see, as they are separating out between, blue color water has started mixing. Yes, you can see this blue color water. Okay, and after some time you will see that aqueous solution, this is just starting. At the end you can see how much space in between the Na plus, this brown color are Na plus and this green color are Cl minus. See how much spacing in there. Okay, so that we called it as aqueous solution of the salt. Okay students, did you understand this? So you can see the down the equation is given. NaCl solid, is a S written there? Yes, for solid. Okay, water dissociation, how you will get? Na plus, and can you see that aqueous is written on the right hand side? Yes, not to write on left, right only you will write. Na plus aqueous plus Cl minus aqueous. Okay students, did you understand till here? Okay, I hope you understood what is dissociation. Dissociation is nothing but the breaking down of the or breaking, or you can say separating out of the ion. Separating word would be more preferably used. Okay, separation of the ions means dissociation. Okay, now the next we are going to see, that is the Arrhenius theory of acids and base. Now who is this Arrhenius? Arrhenius was a Swedish scientist. In 1887 he gave this theory. He gave the definition for his acids and bases. Okay, what he said for an acid? An acid is a substance which on dissolving in water gives rise to H plus ion as the only cation. Means all the acids, you know H plus is there in acid. So all the acids, when they are dissolved in water, they will form the H plus ions only. Okay, for okay students, now next we will see, that is the examples which are given. You can see here HCl. Yes, HCl is given. Okay, how it is? It is water dissociation. Okay, so what it is going to happen? H plus aqueous plus Cl minus aqueous. So see, H plus ion is formed. Okay, on the dissociation. Next what you are seeing? H2SO4 you can see. Again water dissociation. H plus, again can you see H plus ion is formed and HSO4 minus aqueous ion is formed. Now this HSO4 minus ion can further dissociate. Okay, how it can dissociate students? You can see here H plus plus SO4 2 minus. Okay, did you understand? So here what Arrhenius, according to the Arrhenius theory, he said that acid is an substance which on dissolving in water give rise to H plus ion as only cation. Okay students, did you understand the definition for an acid? Okay, now we will see what he said for a base. For a base, he said that a base is a substance which on dissolving in water gives rise to the OH minus ion as only the anion. Okay, H plus as a cation, and for a base, OH minus as the anion. Now what are examples he gave? NaOH he gave. See here, in solid state, when I am doing water dissociation again, what I am getting? Na plus. So can you see, I am getting Na plus and OH minus. Got a OH minus. So can I say this NaOH is a base? Yes, according to the Arrhenius theory. Okay. Next you can see calcium hydroxide is given. Okay. Water dissociation again. It has dissociated as calcium and again hydroxide. So OH minus. Okay, so I have got OH minus as only anion when I am putting a base into a water. Okay students, did you understand the definition of an acid and base which was given by Arrhenius? Okay students, hope you understood till here. Yes, now we will see. We have come to the end of today's presentation. Okay, so today we studied about, you studied the basics of what is an acid, base and salt. Yes, you saw many pictures I have shown you where you can see where acid also, you saw bases every day, whatever the substance we use which are bases, and you know the salt, a simple one which we studied, that is the common salt, sodium chloride. Yes, then we studied the ionic compounds. That was also, example was sodium chloride only. It is an ionic compound. Yes. Why it is ionic compound? Because it is formed because of the Na plus Cl minus ions are bonded with the ionic bond. Okay. Then we studied dissociation of ionic compounds. Yes. Dissociation is nothing but separation of the ions in water and aqueous solutions are forming. Okay. Then you studied the Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. Yes. Arrhenius was the scientist who gave the definitions for the acids and a base depending upon this dissociation. Okay students, I hope today's part is clear to you. You understood what we have done in today's presentation. Okay, we'll meet in the next presentation. Thank you. Take care. Saira.